All right.
Good evening to the football fans from all over the world. Welcome to the Winning Edge talk show. This is Vishwanath, your host. I'm a sports mental conditioning coach and the author of Success Mantra in Sports. I train sports person to help them improve their mind game. Okay, the Euro Cup 2020 is drawing to a close. The finals is slated for tomorrow. Italy and England are already in the finals. And yeah, I am very sure all of you might have been very pleased and enjoyed seeing the matches on the uh, of the Euro Cup and seeing all your favorite players in action. And especially after the pandemic, sports has started in a big way, and spectators have come back to the stadium. Spectators add a lot of color, gaiety, and noise. I still hear the drums, boom, 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 still ringing in my ears. There was so much of noise and fun in the stadium. Okay, now today we are here to discuss on how the tournament progressed and what we can expect from the finals tomorrow. I have with me three young football experts, and these guys, play football, breathe football, and live football. So, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank
You're
you.
most welcome. Okay, let me introduce Anup Raj. Anup Raj has been a professional football player for about 9 years now. He's currently playing for FC Bangalore United. He is a licensed football coach and holds a AFC B diploma. Welcome to the show, Anup.
Thank you. Happy to be on
Okay.
the show.
I have young Jijumon William here. He too is a professional footballer, played BDFA Divisional League. He is currently playing and coaching for the Samantha Sports Academy. Yes, and he is an expert with the Spanish football methodology. Okay, he has worked with Bangalore FC and the Decathlon Sports India Private Limited. Welcome on board, Jijumon.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Thank
It's a
you. You're
pleasure.
most welcome. Then, last but not the least, I have with me Mr. Charming Anand Sindhu from Delhi. Okay, Anand Sindhu was a former manager of football development with the OFC, formerly the Delhi Dynamos. OFC is Orissa Football Club. He does a lot of manual football analytics. He runs his YouTube channel, the FBL Escapades, which is dedicated to football. Thank you for joining us, Anand.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now let's get into action. 1 second. Let me just check my. I want to bring my questionnaire. Okay. Where is it gone? Okay. 1 second. Let me exit the full screen. Yeah, it's better now. Okay. Okay, my first question is to Anup Raj. Anup, this Euro Cup 20 saw a lot of upsets and surprises with the fancy teams like Germany, France, Belgium, and Portugal being eliminated. Why is it that the best teams always don't win tournaments?
Uh, that's the beauty of the game, football, that you never know who's going to win. If we look very closely, every game, analyze and put down into paper, it's not going to be like this team is going to win. If it was that easy, I'm very sure no one would have enjoyed football and no one would have stayed up so late watching the matches. So, and then we come where Denmark and Switzerland upsetting the favorites of the tournament, who are France and Belgium and, like you mentioned, Portugal. So all credit goes to the managers of the team who have planned out their team very well, got their team into structure, the conditioning. They have the solid management, which has done a great job, planned their strategies, and the players who have done a great job in executing the plan. Now it is all down to them where it comes to the final countdown where it's England and Italy. But then the main reason, one of the main reasons why England and Italy have come so far, which I think is because the matches which they played before coming into the tournament, the World Cup qualifiers, they had a very good 3 matches before coming. They won the matches before coming, a good momentum to set up. The boys are confident and a winning mentality is already set in, which always is good for the team. When you're in a good mentality, the team is always in a good shape. You're in a positive mode. So always it's better when you're coming from there. And it's not that like I said, it wouldn't be that easy that if you just pull down on paper and say this team is going to win, it's not going to be that. The team which is going to play on that day, that team is going to win. That's football.
Yeah, thank you, Anup. Anup,
Yeah.
the next question is also for you. Anup,
Yeah.
during our chat before the start of the show, you
Yeah.
were talking about a group of death. Okay, can you
Yeah.
tell us in greater detail what this is all about? A group of death. It looks terrifying. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The group of death, three of the best teams, which is ranked on the top 15 in the World Cup ranking, FIFA World Cup ranking France, the World Cup champion, ranking seventh Portugal, the Euro Cup champions, and ranking 15 Germany, the one of the most tough competitors who have won 4 World Cups already. All the three have been put up in one group, which means they are already competing against each other. So they all competing each other with along with Hungary, which that's the group of death. But sadly, all the three teams which qualified sadly didn't qualify for the round of 16. Didn't come after the round of 16. They didn't make it to the round of 16. So that's the group of death, which
Okay.
which had the best teams but not carried away.
Okay. I
Yeah,
remember they just recently concluded French Open.
yeah,
This is what we came to understand that all the three greats of tennis, Federer, Djokovic, and Rafa Nadal, if they had reached the last four, they would be playing. That's how what happened when Nadal played Djokovic in the semifinals. So that was also a group of death. Okay. Now, Jijumon, I'm coming to you next.
Yeah.
Which of the final four teams have played the best football relative to their capabilities?
I would say
Which
Italy.
ones? Yeah, my next question. Which one's players' performance stands out the most according to you?
Okay, so I would tell Italy because have probably played the best overall, but they were top seeds and reaching the semi-finals and going up to the finals were something their objective was to. And most of the teams' objective is to go to the finals and win the final cup. So if the question who has overachieved, if you tell me, I would tell it is Denmark because they created a miracle in this Euro Cup. So I thought they were the solid outstanders, but after the first two games and after the Christian Eriksen's injury, I mean, everyone would have thought that's the end of Denmark in that season. But after that, they gave a surprise to everyone, a wonderful miracle to most of the teams also. Like they came up, like they had a winless, I mean, they had a win. I mean, not a loss also. They had a great wins ahead after that matches. And and they had a good wingers, Mikhail doing it some great emerging. He'd been the one of the best emerging player I can tell. Yeah, and if you tell me the overall like till semifinals, I would tell Denmark did a great job, and after the semifinals, Italy is one of the best team I can tell.
Oh, thank you for that, Jijumon. Okay, Anand, Sindhu, which teams, according to you, did decently or exceptionally well? Which are those players who are the unsung heroes of this tournament?
Yeah, so regarding all the best teams we already know, Italy, England, Anup has already spoken about them. Jiju already mentioned about Denmark, who overachieved. And regarding unsung heroes and kind of exceptionally well, but I would like to stick with unsung teams. Teams that lot of people did not expect to do well. I'll start with Denmark and Switzerland. I think both of them were remarkable in this tournament, and both of them actually recorded the most number of goals per 90 minutes, and both of them also recorded the most number of assists per 90 minutes amongst the best teams that outperformed. And coming to three more teams now, Sweden, Ukraine, and Czech Republic, I found they were really good as well. Ukraine and Czech Republic also reached the quarterfinals. So that just shows that they did a really good job too. And their managers have done really good job. Regarding unsung heroes, coming to just simply talking about some of the players that may not play for the best of teams, but did really well. In terms of striker, I've listed down three strikers. One is from Denmark, that is Dolberg, and another is from Ukraine, who is Yaramchuk, and then we have Patrick Schick from Czech Republic, who actually ended up scoring 5 goals and a wonder goal from his own half. He scored one, so that was a really good goal too. Regarding midfielders, I think Jiju has already mentioned one of the players, and his name is Damsgaard. He's a 21-year-old boy, scored a couple of goals and given one assist, scored the wonder free kick goal in the semi-final. So Damsgaard is one of the midfielders that really stole the show for me. And then Yarmolenko again for Ukraine. Why Ukraine reached the quarterfinals is because of Yarmolenko. He scored a couple of goals and provided 2 assists as well. Then there is Forsberg. Forsberg from Sweden did really well again. And regarding Sweden, one thing I really like about them is the fact that Sweden were in the group with Spain and they finished first above Spain. This shows a lot about them as a team too. And Forsberg was instrumental for them. He scored 3 goals in the tournament. And there were a couple of midfielders, like, old guns, but they never failed to perform for their countries, and that's Shaqiri and Wijnaldum. So Shaqiri scored 3 goals, and so did Wijnaldum, and both the players were really good for their teams. Now we've discussed strikers and midfielders, but coming to defenders, although Scotland got knocked out of the Euros just after the group stage, but Robertson was so good in this tournament again. It was a pity that he produced 3 key passes for 90 minutes, but there was nobody at the end of it to convert those chances. And talking about some other defenders, there is Joachim Mæhle from Denmark. He scored a couple of goals and provided a couple of assists as well. So Joachim Mæhle, playing from left wing back, it was an amazing player this tournament, and he was playing for Denmark. And then we have Vladimir Coufal. So Vladimir Coufal, playing for Czech Republic, was again really good. He was one of his tackling per interception for 90 minutes is actually the highest in the tournament, and he also provided a few assists here and there. I think it was 2 or 3, and because of him, Czech Republic kind of reached the quarters as well, and they beat Netherlands in round of 16. And there was another spectacular unsung hero in terms of defender, and he was Dumfries from Netherlands. So Dumfries was really good. From open play, he scored a couple of goals. And once he was fouled inside the box, because of him, there was a penalty as well that Depay ended up scoring. So these are defenders that we haven't heard a lot before, or were not expected to do really well, but they ended up doing really, really well. And because of that, we see the likes of Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, all these countries reaching quarterfinals and beyond. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for showing us that bird's eye view about all those unsung heroes under one roof. Thank you so much. Okay, Jijumon,
Yeah.
so this Belgium's golden generation missed a chance of winning a major tournament. Okay, it's been very, very long since Belgium won a tournament. Can
Yeah.
you throw some light on it?
Yes. So it's like this squad was like one of the best squad I can tell. Like it was a gifted squad to the Belgian country. So, but yes, the chance for this generation to win something has been gone, I guess. So because like most of them might retire, and anything can happen. Like I cannot assure things like that. So they're not getting any better or younger players till now. So it's hard enough to tell has they had an opportunity to win this European Championship or a World Cup. So never mind when the core of the team is coming ahead, no one knows who's gonna be the next generation coming up. Has this season we saw a lot of youngsters coming up and they're doing great things. Like has Anand had told, like few players who were like amazing. Like no one expected them doing something great like this. So everyone was like focusing on Cristiano Ronaldo or like many players like that, but no one knew about Denmark who's gonna do like this so great things and all. So and anything can happen. Like so, let's hope for the best for the Belgium to get a new generation or the current squad, giving them an example to the future generation, getting new players. Hope for the best.
Thank you. Anupraj,
Sorry, guys.
what have you say about Denmark's amazing run up to the semi-finals, considering what happened to Christian Eriksen in their first match?
Uh, they had a very emotional start to the tournament, losing out one of their key players and losing that game, losing the first two games. But they came stronger against Russia, winning it 4-1, and that gave them the biggest chance to qualify for the as one of the third best team, which gave them got them to the round of 16. But then after that, the team was boosted up. They played brilliantly against Wales, thrashing them 4-0, which gave the boys a very good boost. And then they had a good game again against Czech Republic. They started off very well 2-0, and at halftime they were comfortable, but then coming back a little sloppy and conceded one goal. But then they played hard to pull it off. 2-1 was a good win for them to take them to semis. The biggest game of the tournament, I would say, was against England, the semi-final. A brilliant free kick, like Anand already mentioned. Brilliant free kick in the 30th minute and put the team in the lead. But then unfortunately an own goal, which is unfortunate, and they conceded. And then in the extra time, it was very disappointing. They played so well. The whole team fought so hard, and they conceded a penalty. And Michael did outstanding in that game. He was too good in the game. And then a brilliant save, but unlucky the ball bounced back to Kane and he had an easy tap in. So I would say Denmark had a very good tournament, a very good team, very unlucky, but the most promising team of the tournament, I would say.
Would you say that the incident of Christian Eriksen suffering an heart attack, maybe it would have inspired the whole team and challenged
Definitely.
them and lifted their spirits to do well?
Yeah, definitely it would have boosted our team because as the coach or the manager, whoever it was who joined it, and the captain coming up during the game, in the first game where Eriksen fell down, he took the initiative,
Yeah,
came up to the referee, everything. We saw all that on the TV.
yeah,
So all that plays a big role, motivating the boys, boosting the boys. We are playing for him. We are losing one of our. It's when you're playing football, it's like a team. It's a family. So
yeah,
when you lose one of your family member, you fight for him.
yeah.
So
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
what would have happened. And the team fought very well. It boosted them, and I'm sure Ericsson would have been a very proud guy watching their boys coming, taking every game strength to strength and
Yeah.
played brilliantly.
Yeah. Now, there's one more point I would like to make. Just the day after he suffered the attack, the very next day, the doctor said, he's out of danger. And, maybe an important injection they gave him and his life was saved. Maybe even that would have lifted the spirits of the whole team. They felt very happy that nothing serious happened and Ericsson came out, out of danger. And maybe they felt very relieved and happy, and that translated into their performance.
True.
Yeah,
That would have been, if you're losing out on one of your team member, it would have been a
yeah,
big loss for the team, and
devastating.
the
Yes,
team would have been in a depression state. So
true.
coming back from there, if they are telling the players out of danger, would have boosted the team, motivated the team,
Yeah,
inspired the boys to fight for him.
yeah, yeah. Always there's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Okay, Anand, Sindhu, I'm coming to you next. I have two questions for you. Maybe you can combine both of them and continue with your comments or opinion. Great players have faltered when it matters most in crunch games. Muller missed an easy shot at the goal that cost Germany the match. Even the experienced, um, yeah, not getting his name. Okay. Yeah.
Muller,
Huh?
Muller from Germany.
Muller is
Yeah,
one. And
Morata.
not Morata. I'm coming to Morata next. Okay. Morata missed a penalty shootout after he scored Spain's first goal, which was an equalizer. Then they from hero to villain is how the media has described him. Penalty shootouts, in fact, are a tricky business. It has reduced great players to mockery in minutes. That's what happened to Morata. Okay, one is why does this happen? And then my next question is the Spanish fans of late have abused and criticized Morata for his poor performance. They have issued death threats and trolled him and his family members endlessly. How much could all have these affected Morata mentally? Has it affected his performance of late? I spoke to some of the football fans, and they said he's not been in very good form in the last 6 months. So go ahead, Anand.
Yeah, so first of all, it is really unfortunate to see these players becoming some sort of joke or scapegoat because of an incident in a particular match. And talking about Morata, it was him who actually got them back in the match. Muller missed a chance against England. That was when the score was 1-0. And honestly speaking, had Germany taken their chances before that Muller miss, that miss wouldn't have even mattered. And similarly, even the match against Italy, somehow a lot of people I'm talking to, they're saying that Spain were the better team against Italy. Although Italy has been phenomenal throughout the tournament, but on that particular day, the kind of chances that Spain were getting throughout the matches, it felt like they could have scored more goals. And it was eventually in the end that Morata came on and actually scored a goal and got them to the penalties. Uh, so yeah, the criticism is really harsh on him. If you're just talking about that particular match, well, if it is about a 6 month thing or a 1 year period, then I'm pretty sure if somebody is not performing well or brilliantly, then the coaches and the managers will take a decision on that, and it should be in the hands of the coaches. Now, regarding their abuse and everything that these players get, and how does it affect the players mentally? Definitely, it should or it does to most of the players, and death threats and racial abuse or things against equality or against or anything, even a women footballer playing or we asking them questions, do you know more football or can you play more better football? Everything out there. I think these fans sometimes they write without any sort of thought process. And that is why recently of late, all the Premier League clubs actually banned social media for a week. So they did not publish any of the content on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. They did it for a week and they opened up again on June so that this was their voice, the football club's voice to all the social media platforms. That when somebody makes an account, kindly go and verify it, so that when these guys they abuse these players on social media, they could be held ransom and there could be some sort of actions that could be taken against them because their account is verified. So all the details are there with the social media team.
Anand, I would like to interrupt, So that's
Yeah.
not possible. That is a debate going on in India where the war against Twitter. So most democracies gives you that freedom of expression, and it's very hard to take action against such guys. And now that's what the Indian government is asking Twitter to do. You do all the monitoring, you do all the filtering, and you delete those tweets. You blacklist them. It's a very hard thing. There's a very thin line, in between
Yes.
the action. I think the fans have to be very reasonable because it's very easy to comment. It's not easy to
Yeah.
go there and play. What the number of years of service and the sacrifice, the dedication, and these players put into is not very easy. So the fans have to be more responsible before they pass on an irresponsible comment. Okay, continue, Anand.
Yeah, I mean, you've spoken enough and, absolutely nail all points that the fans have to be more accountable. But I hope if the social media accounts, they can verify you as a person based on your certain documents, like your Aadhaar or link it to something like that. I think the fans definitely will become more responsible for sure because then they could be held responsible for whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And yes, I understand that you cannot punish them for laughing at you, for example. But if they do comment and abuse or some racial slurs that we've seen has happened, you can take some actions on them. But may not be very hard, but kind of banning them from entering the stadium. But yeah, I mean these things can have an impact on players. But till the time there are no actions, I think the players can just the one word that is to just focus on their game and stand up when something happens. If they are abused or anything, then stand up for it and go through the channel and raise a complaint for whatever they can. But don't take law in your hands and yeah, just focus on the game. And I'm pretty sure even if it has an effect, if you are mentally strong and you have a big character, and if you have good people around you, if you have a good club around you, then you can pass all these hurdles. Yeah, this is what I feel.
Yeah, I would like to
There
add
might
in
be a
comment.
day, there might be a day when we may see all the restrictions coming into play, and let's see. Okay. Now, the person I was trying to recollect was Basquez, who also missed a goal. Okay. Now, please go ahead, Anand. Tell us why great players and teams falter when it matters most.
So we were talking off the camera about this, and once Sir Alex Ferguson said, one thing that he used to tell all his players, and that was focus, focus, focus. That's the most important thing. So sometimes when you're taking those penalties and those key shots, sometimes you're not decisive enough. I mean, you are in a dilemma whether you want to shoot left or right, or maybe you are thinking of the opponent too much. Maybe you're thinking about the goalkeeper just before, or sometimes, again, the focus is the end game. And if it deviates, then you may end up missing a chance or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's sports, it's competitive, it's fast. Any person who has played football would know that it's not that easy all the time. And even if you are focused and everything, uh, it could be on anything. Maybe you were 10 on 10 that particular day, but your opponent was 11 on 10 in that particular day. And sometimes it's like you've taken a brilliant shot, but the keeper goes and makes a top corner save.
Yes.
Now you took a brilliant shot, but the keeper was 11 out of 10. Nobody has seen such a save before in their life. So you did your best, but the keeper was important. And that one key moment in such big matches, that is why we see in a lot of big matches, the scoreline is 1-0 or one penalty miss and the team lost. And these small elements, because of this, you can sometimes lose a match, but doesn't mean the quality is not there. These are professional football players and they've reached an international stage. So I think the criticism is very harsh. And do you wanted to add something? I was just hearing, yeah.
Yeah, so like you might be knowing, you've been working in ISL also. So the organization have come up like with a law, like when the fans abuses a referee or against the team of traveling team or the home team, so the organization have come up like now, like they can find the club. So fans have to get to know that like whatever the fan is doing, so fans are doing support, they have come for supporting the team. But what they do is like when they are abusing the opponents or the referee, the team is getting fined. So you might be knowing in ISL also, when they abuse
Yes.
the referees, so that the clubs get offended for it and they have to pay a huge some amount for the organization. So thing is like the name of the club is going, not nothing big deal. So the fans have to understand that it's just a game. I mean, you need to enjoy the game. And as I told, like you need to support the team, but you need to support the opponents also, because they have been working hard. It's been 3 months of training they are doing, and they're coming for just a match. So all the players have to be respected. Even the referees have to be respected. Referees do mistakes, but it's like where the point of view they see. So they also get fined when they have an organization committee sitting after the matches. They get fined, like if the referee has done something mistake, where the penalty should not be given and he's given the penalty, he pays the amount for it to the organization. So everything has its way of things going on. So fans have to see that, and they have to just enjoy and support the team and respect all the players. That's what I want to say.
Okay, Anand, you were talking about mentioning focus. Okay, as a sports psychologist, what I would like to add is, speaking about focus, you can lose your focus because of the external distractions. And great, the professional footballers have already been used to that external distractions. But it is their internal distractions that is most killing, especially their thoughts, what goes on inside their head. So while they are taking an important penalty, the team relies on you. It's a very important shot. And at that time, what is going on inside your head is very important. If you are thinking positive, if you are thinking already seeing that goal being scored, if you're visualizing the goal going into the goal post, or you are saying that I can do it, and if they are thinking out how to do it, it's all fine. If they're thinking, saying in their head, why saying that, what if I miss? Will my country accept me? I'll be banished. My fans will hate me and I'll let my team down. When the negative thoughts are going inside your head, it affects on the body. And ultimately, so many times they end up playing weak shots, which are easily fielded by the goalkeeper. So, Anand, continue, Anand.
I think I agree. Because of stress, stress in head can actually lead to stress in the body and the muscular stress, which we will talk about in some time. And definitely spot on over there. I think that is why it's so important to be focused about and just forget whatever is happening around when you are in that position, especially taking that penalty. Yeah.
And we were talking about great players. So we won't call anybody great easily. It's because of his track record that has given him his greatness, his excellence. Okay, these people, at crucial times when whole team and country is banking upon them, it's when that put extra pressure on them. And they are humans after all. This extra pressure, the weight of expectations also affects their game. It can happen. Okay, Jiju, you are a expert on Spanish methodology of football. Okay, what do I have to say about the older style of Spanish game? That's the tiki-taka style, which was what brought into play by Del Bosco. And what do you say about the present style of play with the Spanish side? And what have you to say about this young Spanish side? Okay,
Okay.
go ahead. It's your turn.
Yeah. So I would have yes, the tiki taka was one of the best style of play, and everyone followed that. Even in few of the clubs in India, we followed that by the Spanish coaches, where they coach the clubs in India, even wherever, because that was one of the best methodology ever you can tell. It's been known for that. I mean, Spanish methodology is known for is one of the best style of play. So the trend now is that the most talented young Spanish players that feature in the squad have moved away from Spain. So they're searching for better academic standards or the administrations. So earlier it was like the Spanish players used to play only in the region of Spain, like Valencia. They used to play in Valencia, Barcelona, or Real Madrid. So where they used to use this tiki taka a bit. I mean, I'm not telling you the complete way, but they used to use this during the training or during a practice match. They used to use this style of play, but now they have moved on to the other a region of play, like they play English Premier League. So they does not use much of tiki taka over there. So they play their different styles. So this tournament may be taken up as an opportunity to conduct a series of control experiments. So because I can tell you, this was an experimental squad. I can tell you what the Spain has given up. So thing is, for further, I can tell they might use this squad in different way of style, or they might come back with the tiki taka. Anything can happen because day by day the new way of styles have been coming up. As you can tell, Indian team also played they have a different play of style, and they have succeeded in that play also. So it depends on the coach what he does the analysis on the opponents. So they sit and they watch how the opponents are doing, and they prepare a style of play against them, because now tiki taka has become the common that everyone follows. So you cannot play with the same team which is going to use the tiki taka, and you are going to play with that same. So it's been already targeted, so they know. So how to defend that style. So to say in the simple words, it's like a new mindset, and so it's just an experimental squad. And I can tell, for the future upcoming tournaments, I can tell you the Spain is going to do great, because their style of play and their teachings to their coaches, upcoming coaches, as I've been learning from Spanish coaches, my educators were from Spain, so they taught me few styles, and it's been growing up. They're growing up their style. So yes.
Okay.
Can I
Say about these young, I think somebody's coming in.
interrupt?
Yeah.
Is it Anup?
So yeah,
Oh, you come in.
yeah. I was saying, Jiju was telling about the Spanish style of football. Before, if you see, you had all the Spain players playing for the Spanish league, but now most of the Spanish players are moved out to play the French league and the EPL, and most of the English Premier League players have come here. So what happens is they're playing the system throughout. But now what happens is they already moved out and they're playing different styles of play, like what he said. And now what's happening? Other players also are getting accustomed to this style of play, where they're getting used to it and they know what's going to happen, how they're going to play, and what's happening. So we already read what's happening, and the other coaches are already prepared for what is this. So it's getting little old. So what now is going to happen? What like we see Bielsa in Leeds United coach, he's played the same style of football but in a more attacking way. But Spain are playing the same style of football, but they're not attacking. Like you see, if they had most of the games, if you see, they've kept the ball for 70%, 72%, but they have only 5 shots in the goal. That is, we need to see more attacking football. That's when you attack more, when you attack the goal, that's when you're going to get goals.
Thank you.
What do you say, Jiju, about that?
Yeah. So that's what I told. Like because now tiki taka has become old style of play. So everyone knows how to play. Even the small kids know how to play tiki taka now. So before it was like something tiki taka. Oh my god, it's gonna be great. I mean, it's the toughest play, and it's gonna be hard to us to play against that team. But now it has become like okay, we know the way of game because now when the player from Spain travels to another region of play and he interacts with the team, so it becomes he shares few things with them, so they also get to know when they're playing against each other in the national matches, so they know. So the coaches also have traveled, they have been playing, they have been coaching English Premier League clubs and Spain clubs and French leagues also. So thing is like now Spain, this as I told, this was a just an experimental team because they have got the new players coming up and future also. I'm sure like we'll be getting new players also. So it's just an experimental team. So where they can just experiment, like they can try the new things and all. So like has future upcoming tournaments coming, they will try for a new better ways and they can learn. I mean, it's football is like a game where you learn from mistakes. It's not like you are expertised in that. You learn from mistakes and you try to don't repeat that mistakes again. So I'm sure like Spain is going to give a good competition. I mean, they gave a good competition in this, but few mistakes were there. I feel like finishing was lacking in between them. So they were holding the game, but finishing was not much great in their team. So that's
Okay,
what I felt.
Jijumon, do you think this young Spanish side has the makings of becoming a champion side in the near future? Will they go on to win a cup?
Uh, that's a tricky question to me. I can tell because I cannot tell which team is going to win the World Cup because I
But
can tell.
can they
Yes,
blend into a
yes,
champion side? You know,
yes,
it,
yes.
it
I
can.
can tell yes because they have the better coaches coming up in, and they have good players coming, and they have a good exposure to play the leagues. So they have a great clubs like no because in Spain what they do is like they start training from under 7. So they have leagues from for under 7, under 8, under 10. So they start with under 7 grassroots leagues. They start.
Okay.
So, but we find in few countries we don't find that. We just directly start with under 14, or most probably under 12 also coming up in some leagues and under 18.
Okay.
So in Spain, what they start training
Okay.
the under 7 kids itself.
Okay.
So they teach
Okay.
them
We are
how to
running
play.
short of time. I'll go to the next question. Anup
Yeah.
Raj, this is for you. A player can miss a penalty, or a defender can fail to tackle opponent's strike, which can lead into a goal. Okay. Now you are a striker, and you're not able to convert a brilliant pass into a goal, or you can miss that opportunity. After all these incidents, how can the players feel? You know, how much will it affect their future
It is
performance in the match, and then how will they able to come back, refocus and come back into the side. And it can also happen to great teams, when they suddenly, I remember the Brazilian side of when they played Germany in 2014 World Cup. In 7 minutes, they scored 4 goals, and a Brazilian side blacked out. Okay, and they were not able to come back from then on. It can also happen to the great teams. Now, what will you do when something can go wrong like this? And how are all the players thought, to
it
refocus and
is it
regroup and
is it
come
is
back into the
normal.
match?
It is normal. Every player has to go through these mistakes, and it happens in the game.
Yes.
Every
Hmm.
we are all human beings, and we tend to make mistakes. But the most what we learn during training, we train to make new mistakes so that you learn from them again and again on a different day. But this is normal. It depends on the player right now. Like how Anand said that time about the fans. If the fans
Okay.
putting pressure on the player, put out or anything, missing a penalty or missing a free kick or missing a good open chance, it depends. But then now it comes down to how the player's mentality is. Like Cristiano Ronaldo says, he's a beast. So he says, you train your mind as much as you train your body. The mental. So it is very important how you train your mental skills.
Yeah.
So now it depends on the player, like how he's trained his mind. If he's going to thing again and again, he's not going to do well the next move again. So now it is up to the players and the coaches to motivate him, to inspire him, to encourage him, push him up so that he does better. He might be one of the most key players,
Yeah.
but then he could have done a mistake. That's very normal for anyone to do. Just encourage him so that he does much better. And come on, let's go. We can get another goal. Let's go. He must have done a penalty. It's okay. It happens, and it's all about how you train your mind. Maybe, and we have like all the professional teams now have sports psychologists. So it's time for most biggest motivating thing. And yoga and meditation. We have a lot of things now.
No,
So
it's all about
players
the
have to train
mindset.
your
It's all about the mindset, Anup. That's
yeah.
what we train the players to
True.
do. We take them to these
Correct.
desensitization sessions where we take them onto those bad incidents, and we expose the incident again and again to them. And we
Correct.
through all the different mindset, we teach them how to let go and how to not to think about what has happened. It won't come back. How to let go, how to forget it, and focus once again. So more you're thinking about it, more you're going to spoil the present moment and your future game. No, it's all about mindset.
True.
They need to be trained. And speaking about the team mindset, I was saying, even Brazil hired a sports psychologist that time. The psychologist came 2 months earlier, and but still, they wanted to win that World Cup desperately in 2014 because it happened in Brazil. But it didn't help because they need to develop this mindset. Suddenly, things can't change. Okay, they should know what to do when the things go wrong. How to. It's all about training, as you said, training the mind and stimulating those situations and using that. That suddenly you can't do anything. Even the mind, it can't happen suddenly. Okay, now great. Thank you for that answer. Now, Anand, there has been relentless football since 2020 when football began post the COVID, when tournaments began once again. There is an increase in the muscular injuries owing to this. Do you have any stats on this? Why do these injuries occur?
Um, so since when we compare the 2016 Euros and when we compare the 2016 to basically the 2020 Euros, we've seen a rise of 38% in terms of absence.
Oh,
Now, when we remove the COVID-related isolations, the muscle injuries have increased to 21%, and till the round of 16 stage. In the group stage, the muscle injuries had increased by 31%. So there is a rise of injuries even in the quarters. We saw players like some really key players like Embolo from Switzerland, Spinazzola from Italy, who was there flying left wing back, and we also saw Nasser Chadli from Belgium, who just came on, played some minutes, and then got injured because of a muscle injury. Now the reason is, like you have already mentioned in the question, since 2016, last year, the football has not stopped. So because last year what happened was because of COVID, a lot of matches was played in June, and the season was finished in August. So and the new season started in September, and so the players, they got a break of hardly 2-3 weeks. And since September, the season is going, and it's 10th of July, and the season is still ongoing as we speak. From 12th or from some time, the Tokyo Olympics is going to start, and a lot of footballers are also going to play the Tokyo Olympics. And there's also going to be the African Cup of Nations. And then Premier League, which is the English Premier League, they have already announced that the Premier League will start on 13th of August. So we are already in July. The Olympics is about to happen, and then the African Cup of Nations is also about to happen. And basically, there's no rest at all, and the season is ongoing. Earlier, there used to be a break of a month or something like that, and there was a break in the January window. But now there is no break at all since the June of last year, and it is still as ongoing, like we just discussed. And it is now going to stop the next May in 2022. The season will end then. So it's a complete jam-packed season. And the reason that why muscular injuries have increased is because there has been no break, or there has been some short breaks. And because of that, there has been tension in the muscle. And because of these muscular tensions, we are seeing a lot of muscular injuries. It's not something that people don't know. But why people are not stopping is because of the broadcasting rights and the money that people are getting through it. Unfortunately, the players are going, professional players especially, they are, carrying the burden of it. But yeah, I hope the football federations, they improve this because the stats are already out. An increase of 30% is huge, actually. Yeah.
There is one more factor, Anand. See, playing continuous playing tournaments continuously under tremendous stress. Under stress, your muscles also tense up, they tend to break. Okay, so this playing continuously, under stress is also responsible for your injuries. So you also have to keep that in mind. It's also important how you rest and recover. As you said, playing continuously has a harms, has a detrimental harm on the mind and the body. And again, they also need to be trained how to maintain, how to manage stress. Stress is another factor here. Okay, now, Jijumon, football is a fast and furious and aggressive sport. Does it require a footballer to be excited and aroused all the time, like it appears for us on the screen? What is the ideal mentality he must show to bring out good performance? How do footballers maintain emotional control on the pitch?
Yeah, okay. Uh, One of the good question, because like most of the players who are giving the debut, because this season, this tournament, we could see most of the new players coming up. So obviously they'll have a good anxiety to play for their nation. I mean, playing for a nation is not a small thing. So they'll be too excited to play for it. But we do have to control, because like, if you want to play a match, you need to be calm minded, because football is a game where you use your mind and your strength. So if you have a fresh mind, you can do we can use our mind and use tactics or tactical moves and all. So as a coach, I would create a positive environment. So if, how to handle a player's emotions, like if the player is having any emotional, because we need to look into that also before the match. So as I was a player, when I had a coach, so he used to, before a match or after our training section, he used to make us lie down in the ground, and he used to tell us to watch the sky and just dream about your best moment in your life.
Oh, visualization, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we used to think about that, because we used to forget all the things, all our pains, because in the, I mean, no one is without the pain, everyone has a pain in their life. So we cannot think about it during the match or before the match, because that can spoil the person's match, and even the team also can undergo that problem if he's not playing well. So as a coach, I would create a positive environment, talk to players about their issues, promote a great behavior, not just a get. I just don't want to focus on the performance. I just want to see the great behavior in themselves, know the players' emotions, lead them to mindfulness practice. Mindfulness practice in sense, have a good interaction with the team,
Yeah,
not
and
just
see, mindfulness is about being in the present moment, being in the present tense, and not thinking too much about the outcomes. Just do your
yeah,
process right, and the
yeah,
outcome will come according to your
yeah.
game.
So
Yeah.
I can, in this I can give an example of Denmark. So if they had a loss, continuous 2 matches loss, they had a great leaving the squad. So that if they had that pressure in their mind, if even a 3-4 players, if the coach had that pressure, Denmark would have not come till the semifinals. So they're the best example I can tell for the mindfulness practice over here.
Great.
Just try to forget what has happened in the past, because as Anup told, like football is a game where you learn from mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
So whatever has happened previously, try to learn from it and get through it, because that's going to be the great success in the
Yeah,
matches.
see, that's what experience is all about.
Yeah,
Experience is the greatest teacher, we say. Okay,
yeah,
now Anup Raj, though football is a team sport, it can also be an individual sport for the simple reason that when the ball is with the player, it becomes an individual game, according to me. Okay, what he does with the ball matters most to the prospects of the game. The pass he can give, the block he can do, when the ball is with the player, it's what about what he does. Okay, what he does, the kind of pass, the kind of block, the kind of penalty kick he does is all important to the team. What do I have to say?
Uh, Football is a mind sport. Like
No, I first
uh,
tell us about the group sport and the individual sport.
group sport. Okay,
Go to
so
that.
what we talk about is
Hmm.
it is a it. You can say it's both. When the player's got the ball at his feet, it's all up to his head. It's about his decision making,
Yeah.
about what he does with the ball, what he wants to do, where he wants to go, whether he wants to pass, he wants to dribble, he wants to shoot, or whatever. But what he does is his own decision and he sees it best. Okay. But now the player who does the best decision is a better player. Simple as that. But then when he's got the ball, the rest of the 10 players are not going to stand. The rest of the 10 players are going to move according to the situation of the ball. So who's going to make the run and who's going to give a best option, who wants to go for the pass or who wants to go overlap or whatever. You want to give the best option to your player who's got the ball. So who is giving? So I won't say it is an individual sport. It is a team sport.
But yeah, when the ball is with you, it's an individual sport. It's about what the individual
it's an individual
does.
sport.
I'll come.
But the rest of the 10 players, are not going to stop. Only if the rest of the 10 players are going to coordinate.
Let me come from the previous questions what we discussed. Now, see, previously you missed a serious something, as we mentioned. No, you made a big mistake. It is still weighing on your mind. Okay, it is still weighing on your mind. You're still thinking about it, and suddenly you are asked to take that penalty kick. If you're still thinking about it, you will spoil your next penalty kick. So every player should be able to let go of what happened. See, now if one player is very sensitive, if he is very emotional because of what happened, then he can spoil the game. That one penalty kick matters for the side, isn't it? That one kick. So every individual is important, and of course you can't have everything.
As you said, every individual is important, but the whole team as an individual is a team sport, right?
It's a team sport. I don't deny that. Yes, it is a team sport, but the individual is also important. That's what I'm coming to.
Yeah, true. Every individual, like you said, every player puts 100%. Then the whole team puts 100%. Even if one person puts a 70%, the team's performance is dropped to 30%.
See, so many times it has gone to the penalty and it has gone to the last shot. And it's not important. It is now the individual who is coming in. It's his last shot is important for the team, isn't it?
True. As an individual, true. What you're saying.
End up on this point, I want to say something. Every sport is a mind sport. Why? Because it's not even though it's a physical sport, all the signals have to come from the brain, and without the signals coming, you can't move your body. Okay. And if you're coming in your own way with your thinking, your negativity, your stress, your panic, your nervousness, your anxiety, and all that, it will come in the way of your game, and you can spoil your own game. You can come in the way of your own performance. So every game is a mind game, mind sport, and because the brain and the mind are very, very important in how do you perform, how you execute. Okay. So just because these are physical sports, we think they are only physical sports, but it's the mind that decides the best from the rest. Okay. Now coming to the next point, Anand, you are a person from the football analytics background. Can you tell us why data science is important and analytics is necessary for football?
It is one of the most important pillars of football these days, especially with data science, ruling the world at every corner. And it is not a surprise that football is being influenced by data a lot as well these days. I'll just give you a couple of examples. To start off with, the example of Real Madrid. I was just reading news on Twitter that today itself they published a picture on their Twitter handle where the players are wearing a mask and they have a machine here on their shoulder. And what the machine is actually doing is it's actually reading your oxygen and carbon dioxide levels. Now, these carbon dioxide and oxygen levels are then converted into performance parameters, and these performance parameters are then translated into how to enhance the efficiency of a player on the ground. So this is one sort of analysis, although it's a performance analysis tool, but even this performance analysis tool, it leads to certain data, and this data is then interpreted and then used to enhance performance of players. Another example I would like to give is about a club called Brentford. Now, Brentford, this year, they have qualified for the Premier League, which is the English Premier League. Last year, they were playing the Championship, which is the second division in England. And before the owner took over, say some 6 years or some years back, I'm not 100% correct about when did the owners took over. But what actually they brought was they brought in a model which is known as the XG model. Now, XG model is the expected goal model. Now, this is a data which the owner started checking out, and on the basis of this model, they actually started buying players, and now they have bought so many players, and they have earned so much, through them. So they bought a player for 2 million or 4 million in Ollie Watkins, and then they ended up selling Ollie Watkins to Aston Villa for £35 million. Then they bought Konsa. They sold Konsa to Aston Villa. They bought Neil Maupay, and they sold Neil Maupay to Brighton, another big club in the Premier League. And this, with the help of this data model, they have basically data model and especially focus on expected goals. They bought a lot of players and then sold them for like 10 times more. So and this way of selling players and improving and again, whatever profits they were earning, they were putting it back in the club. And by doing so, this year they are promoted in the Premier League and they'll be playing in the Premier League. So that's a huge component that why data is so important and how it can make your club from a niche club to a big club. And now I would also like to analyze certain things, and this is I'll be analyzing Spain, Italy, and England just in brief. England and Italy we can understand why, but Spain will actually will answer some of what Jiju said and some of the things that Anup said. So I'll just go through some of the stats. One of the analytical stats that we usually don't see, because we usually see standard stats, and standard stats are your goals, assists, and clean sheets. Clean sheets is when you don't concede a goal. And these are some complex stats. So let's start with the shots on target for 90 minutes. So shots on target for 90 minutes, out of the top 6, 4 of the players are from one team, and that is Spain. So number 1 is Oyarzabal, who is 2.16. Number 3 is Dani Olmo, again from Spain, who is 1.9. Number 5th is Gerard Moreno, 1.62 shots per 90 minutes. And then you have Morata, who is 1.6 per 90 minutes. Number 2nd is Dolberg, and number 4th is Patrick Schick from Czech Republic. Out of the top 6 players, like 4 of them are from Spain. So what it kind of shows is, even what Anup was saying and even Jiju, like Spain did get those opportunities. They were taking those shots, but it wasn't on the left or the right of the goalkeeper. It just didn't go in. It's just a phenomenal stat to see that 4 of the top shot getters in the tournament were from Spain. Another really important complex stat that I check before analyzing a player is non-penalty expected goal plus expected assist. A player can score a lot of goals from penalty, although I'm not saying that scoring penalties is not important, but it's a bonus in my opinion. You need to practice your penalties, but you can't be dependent on a victory from a penalty. You can't say, okay, I was not given a foul, and that is why we lost because we didn't get the penalty. I mean, that's kind of a bogus answer. What's more important is, apart from that penalty, what was your expected goal and your expected assist? Now, again, no surprises at all. Out of the top 5, 3 of them are from Spain. Number 1 is Kai Havertz. He had a good tournament, no doubt. Number 2 is Cristiano Ronaldo, another really good tournament. He scored 5 goals and gave assists. So these 2 names are not surprises. But number 3 is Oyarzabal at 0.9 NPXG plus XA for 90 minutes. Number 4 is Sarabia, who's 0.9 again for 9.9 expected NPXG plus XA for 90 minutes. And number 5th is again Dani Olmo, who is 0.86. It's like close to a goal. If we tally all these things, Spain should have scored somewhere around 15 to 20 goals in this tournament, because their shots on target and their NPXG, all of them account to at least around 3 each per match. And they played in semis, so they played around 6 matches. They should have scored 18, but how many did they score? And that is why I feel that Spain really underperformed this tournament. One of their midfielders, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but Pedri against Italy actually recorded 100% pass completion rate, and he's just 18-year-old. So this shows that Spain as a system, they were floating in the right direction as a team, but near that D box, they were not able to penetrate. And this is something which even Jiju mentioned, and even Anup. And I feel because of this, Spain will look into their forward lines and into those guys, how the manager can tweak their finishing. Maybe it's not physical because they have reached the level, Maybe it's more mental. I don't know whatever the problem is, maybe, but this is a key action point where they have to work on, because all the stats are with them.
Okay.
Coming to one last bit was apologies, I'm taking a lot of time on this, but one last bit was about Italy and England. Now, another very important statistics that I look into account is goal creation action per 90 minutes. Now, in goal creation action per 90 minutes, in the top 9, there are 2 Italians and 1 English player. Now, the 2 Italians are Marco Verratti and Barella. Both of them have produced a lot of goal creation actions for 90 minutes. Now, goal creation action for 90 minutes is the final 2 actions before a goal is scored. And the one player who makes the top 9 of this list is Jack Grealish from England. Now, this is so surprising because Grealish has been on the bench. Now, it is not a surprise that whenever Grealish has come, even in the match against Germany, he came and he gave an assist. Even in the match against Denmark in the semi-final, it was Grealish who came on, and after he came, England actually scored the winner. So Grealish has been very important, but Verratti and Barella, they are starting for this Italian team. They are playing all the 90 minutes, while Grealish is playing just the 15-20 minutes, and he has been the most creative player in the league. Coming to the second creative stat, which is key passes for 90 minutes. Again, in this list, in the top 6, there are 2 Italians, and that is Verratti and Insigne. So even in key passes, we don't see any of the English players. So I think on the basis of this analysis, I feel the Italians, the midfield, they are producing more goal creation options and they are producing more key passes. So the creativity balance lies with the Italians right now, based on the statistics.
Anand, sorry to have to cut you short because you
I'm
are
done.
an hour on the discussion. It was really worthwhile. Now, guys, we are coming to the last question of the evening. Okay. It's been a long time since England won a major tournament. It was in 2006 that Italy won its last World Cup. Now, a big opportunity for them to bring back the glory of the olden days. Okay, now I want each one of you to just say who you will put your money upon, which team will you bet to win the Euro Cup 2020, and who will be your best player. Okay, keep it short. Okay, starting with Anup. Anup Raj.
For me, I would take upon Italy. They have a solid goalkeeper, solid defense, and already mentioned Anand already mentioned the key players in Insigne, Immobile, and Jorginho. So I would take upon Italy. Expect Sterling and Kane to do something, but I think Italy would have a slight edge over England today.
Okay.
Tomorrow, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's hope. Okay. Jiju?
I would go with an England team because they are the young team and they have a fast-paced game. So I can tell England might do miracle in this because I feel like Italy is fast enough, but England, I feel like their wingers are too good because most of the goals they have scored is through the wingers itself. So I feel like England is going to do great. I go with England.
Okay. Okay. Anand?
I think I have spoken enough. I'll not look beyond
No,
the
it's not like that. You have to come in with your last, chip in with your last opinion, okay?
Well, there was a really important point that Anup raised at the start of the discussion, and that is whosoever plays best on that particular day is going to win. And that is how it is going to. But at the moment, the stars are with Italy. Sorry, the statistic stars are with Italy. So I'm going to back them at the moment.
Thank you. So thank you guys for joining this show, coming out with your wonderful comments, sharing your expertise about football, and thank you for making this show successful. Let's hope to have a great finals tomorrow. Okay. So I wish you all the best in your careers. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you once again. Bye for now. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Then.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice talking to you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Jiju. Thank you again, Anup Raj.
It was a great experience for me.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Oh, most
Thank
welcome.
Nice.
Vishwanath, you didn't tell us your choice.
Yeah.
What is
I thought.
What are you going to put your money on?
Okay. Now I will go with your opinion. I'm open. Open mind. Two best teams are in the final. And
Open mentality.
I am just a spectator who enjoys sport.
But
Okay.
one team, if you have to pick one.
Yeah.
If
Pick
you
one.
have to
Yeah,
pick
definitely.
one.
I'll go with England, I suppose, because they have got very wonderful strikers with them, and they are very motivated.
Because the egg broke.
They are very, very motivated, and
All right.
well. But we'll have a very good match. Anything can happen in the end. So thank
So
you.
it's 2-2.
Yes, yes. Bit. Okay.